Welcome to the Threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us are waiting to see who wins the NCAA championships. Yes, plural, because the women's championship is actually a lot more interesting this year.
You mean the two of y'all.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't care less about the men's tournament.
Right. So, if this is your first time finding us, welcome. We are so glad you're here. If you are back for more of these shenanigans, I guess, then, we're happy to have you too, and you are the real MVP. The sultry voice that you hear is our point person, our optimistic realist. She is known as Star.
7 whole days.
And not a word from your dumb ass. Sorry. Sorry. I was triggered. And the dulcet baritone, of course, belongs to our man in the middle, our voice of reason. He is known as Magic.
He was scared to kick a 16 bar. He's not a rap star. Not saying that I am, but I'm the jam.
Okay, and bringing up the rear is... I was giving him finger snaps. Yeah.
Yeah, snap.
Bringing up the rear as always, I, of course, identify as the pragmatic contrarian of the group, and I am called Storm. So, do we have any foreplay this week? Anyone?
Nope, I don't.
Sir?
Not I.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have anything either. I'm sure I may have during the week, but I didn't write anything down, and I'm old, and it's been a long week. That's all I can say. It should have been Friday yesterday. But anyway. So let's slide right into this week's episode then. What do we have?
So it's my week. Yay!
Yay.
And so there's been a lot of odd things that have been coming across my timeline, and I've been seeing in different things. And so I wanted to talk about a few of those things. Okay. So the first thing is the airplane passenger who decided that he was too lazy to go to the restroom, and he was fined and kicked off at the plane at the Sydney airport for urinating in a cup.
The fuck?
Laziness has reached an all-time high.
Yeah. He just, like I said, he decided.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. One of the other ones is the periodical cicadas that are coming to two parts of the United States. These little ugly rascals invade different areas of the United States every year, but this particular year, people will be finding themselves inundated with some extra strange characters, because the new crop that are coming about, they're being ravaged by an STD STD that turns them into zombie-like caterpillars.
The
So
fuck?
they will be uglier
Are
than
they are they going to
usual.
start dropping out of trees again?
Who the hell knows?
Well, I
Um,
mean, I don't like insects to begin with, but
mhm.
I do find the cicadas kind of soothing, like their noise, particularly at night. Like I find it a little soothing. I don't know, just me
um,
probably.
okay.
Can't see
I
it.
mean,
Um,
it's much better than the complete stillness. Because I don't know. To me, that's weird when there's absolutely no noise. So I don't know. I kind of find the cicadas a little bit soothing. I don't know. And also, after a
What about
while,
zombie versions?
well, I've never,
right.
I've never heard the zombie version, so I don't know. But after a while, the sound of the cicadas becomes like white noise anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Like you kind of stop hearing them.
What, like the crickets? Like how when you're in
Not
the
so
south
much
and the
like the,
crickets?
yeah, not so much like the crickets because crickets are the thing about crickets. What's annoying about crickets is that they'll make noise and then they'll be quiet, and you're like, oh, okay. And then the minute you relax, then they start that noise up again. See, the cicadas don't be on that bullshit. The cicadas just be a constant hum. You know what I mean?
Mm, mm,
So it kind of fades into the background. Like you don't stop hearing them and then all of a sudden they loud again, which is annoying
mm,
about crickets. And yeah, crickets, I'm talking about y'all. Because
mm.
yeah, that's what I don't like about crickets.
Okay. I'm so glad that you're so well versed in
Passionate.
the
Right.
in. All right. Um, well, so the next piece of odd news is a Southern California police department has been handcuffed by Lego. The Danish toy company asked the police department to stop adding Lego heads to cover the faces of suspects in photos it publishes on social media. So basically, this police department, because they're just suspects, haven't been, haven't
Right.
been found guilty or whatever. So to give them, their privacy or whatever, they would show different clips or pictures, but they would add Lego heads to protect their privacy. And Lego is like, no more. Stop that shit.
Can't blame them.
Okay. I mean,
What?
if you're going to cover up their faces, why are you trying to show mugshots in the first place? Like,
Um,
I mean,
I don't think it's mugshots that they're using. I think it's just, um, like the perp walks, and stuff like that. And
okay,
so,
yes, but if you're not going to show their face, I mean, there are so many like stock photos you could use or um, just a placeholder, like
Mhm.
you don't have to show like everything does not require a photo. So I just
Hello?
don't understand.
She went out.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, the fun of
you can't hear
editing.
me?
I'm right here. Hello?
I hear you. I don't hear her.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh, wow.
Hold on.
You were talking last week and we couldn't
Okay.
hear you. It was still recorded. There
Yeah,
she
I don't know
goes.
why it keeps booting.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. No, what I was saying was like everything doesn't require a photo. Like you didn't
Right.
really have to put a photo. Just say what it is. Like I mean, if you have to go through all that to cover people's faces, why put the photo up in the first place? Like I don't understand.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what the whole point of it is. What were you getting ready to say, Magic?
As a big fan of Legos, I can't blame them. Get your money. Fuck them people. Put a smiley face on it, damn it.
Yep. There's so many other things that you can use to cover a suspect's face. I don't know whose idea it was to use Legos, but yeah,
Yeah, but my point is, if you have to cover their face, why use the photo at all?
at
It
all.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
get that.
mean, do they think that nobody will believe that they're out there arresting people if they don't post photos? I mean,
Hey.
This generation,
Hey.
maybe.
right? Yeah, no pics. It didn't happen, I guess.
Right.
But
You know, that's how it goes. You didn't show photos, it never happened. So one of the other news is that there's a junk food ban going on in the UK. Okay. So they're trying to make, the UK healthier. So a British comedian whose let's say management team spent quite a bit of money on his posters, like this guy's posters who was supposed to be performing in London, and he had some ads put up in a subway station, and he has now been ordered to remove those said posters from the subway stations because it shows him eating a hot dog.
Hey, yo.
yeah, I don't care. No, I mean, no, I just really don't care. Like, there's a lot of things that other countries' governments do to actually keep them healthy.
Mhm.
Because other governments actually, I don't know, give a fuck.
Better air quality. But yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that they do. So, I mean, what I'm not about to do is sit here and put my Americanized bent on whatever happens over in the UK. Whatever, you know, let them
You
handle
swallow
that.
that glizzy, man.
And in last odd news, a Danish hippie oasis has fought drug sales for years. Now, locals want to tear up the whole street. Inhabitants of Copenhagen's freewheeling Christiana neighborhood are planning to dig up the aptly named Pusher Street in their latest attempts to stop illegal hashish, they're calling it, sales, which have led to deadly gang turf wars and sometimes violent confrontations with police. So they just digging up and bulldozing the whole.
Wait, you said these are the hippies?
It's called a Danish hippie oasis. Yeah. But the name
Oh,
of the street
okay.
is called Pusher Street.
Oh no, I thought you were saying that the hippies were asking to have this done.
No, no, no. It's
And
the
I'm like,
inhabitants
no, no,
of
no.
the.
Okay, I
Yeah.
get it. No, I was just confused because I
That's
was
all right.
like, wow, definitely different than this country. But
Oh,
Hell no, you can't find no good hash in America.
well, it says residents of the hippie enclave are calling for volunteers to help dig up the street on April 6th. All are welcome, and participants can take home one of the cobblestones from the street as a
okay,
souvenir.
okay, so it is the residents that want to do this.
Yep.
Okay,
The next,
so it is different from the U.S. It's the hippies that are actually wanting to clean the shit up.
the inhabitants, they're not calling the inhabitants hippies themselves. They're
Well,
saying that,
if it's a hippie enclave, then yeah, the inhabitants would in fact be the hippies, right?
I mean, I guess.
Could
I
be the
think it's the
surrounding
neighbors.
area.
I think it's the surrounding areas that want it gone. I don't think it's so much as that from the article, it doesn't seem that the people who actually live in the enclave mind what's going
Okay.
on. It's the surrounding area. It says the
Oh, okay.
neighborhood, the small neighborhood has been a world apart from the rest of Copenhagen since 1973, when hippies squatted in a derelict naval base and set up a community dedicated to the flower power ideals popular at the time: free cannabis, limited government influence, no cars, and no police. And they want it gone. They're going to do their best to make it disappear
And it's been
tomorrow.
there for all these years.
Hmm.
I mean, well, kudos to them for making that work for as long as they made it work. I mean,
People that
It
are
says,
on pot and hash tend not to be that violent
yep.
right,
because they're sleepy.
right. Yeah. Yeah, they're liable to get rid of all the illegal hashish and invite worse drugs into the neighborhood. So, be careful what you wish for sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. They want to get rid of the hashish trade. I have not heard anybody call it that in a very long time.
Right.
Um, so we're going to segue that odd news into the two-headed conjoined twin that just got married recently.
Okay, you don't have to call them two headed.
I know, I
The
know.
fact that they're
That's what I keep
conjoined.
And you said
conjoined.
twin singular, so I'm
Well,
like,
well, because that's the only part that split. Everything else about
Well,
this.
yeah, yeah. One of them got married. One of the conjoined twins got married. Right? I mean, like I vaguely saw the story. I didn't really read it, but so one of the twins got married.
Well,
Correct?
there's how they're saying it is. Yes. So conjoined twin Abby Hensel
Hmm.
is the one that I guess got married to Josh.
Okay.
And the sister Brittany, I guess, wasn't listed as a witness. I don't understand what that's about. Um,
I
but yeah.
mean, yeah, like this isn't the first time that I've heard of such things. I mean, well, I'm obsessed with medical oddities to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So early on, when I was growing up, I used to read a lot about conjoined twins, watch a lot of programs about conjoined twins. So this is
Mm-hmm.
not like out of the ordinary, from what I can tell. Like a lot of times, conjoined twins that don't get separated do, and this sounds kind of weird, but they lead separate lives.
Okay.
Like one twin will date, and I was always, well, what the hell is the other one doing? You know what I
read
mean?
a book.
Well, yeah. So,
Well,
but yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that go into that. I mean, like the way they're conjoined.
you
No,
hear him
well,
over
no,
there. You hear him.
Oh God.
yeah, yeah. But no, the way they're conjoined, um, I don't know like about this set of twins specifically, like how they're conjoined, where they're conjoined. Do they?
Slightly above the waist. I think they have like two different livers and such, but from the waist down, it's all one body.
Okay, but do they have separate sexual organs? Do they
No.
have? You know what I mean? Like there's nuances to this. You know what I mean?
They gonna
So
have their share from the waist down. It's one body.
are you sure it's one body or you just see one body? Because you can
They've
see.
said it's shared.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I don't, like I'm not sure exactly how a lot of that works, because generally, I mean, you're saying it's shared, but generally, maybe the pelvis belongs to one twin, but not the other. There. But yeah, I've seen it before where one twin is dating and the other one isn't, and I'm like, how is that possible? When matter of fact, I'll have to look it up, but I feel like maybe 20 years ago I saw where there were conjoined twins. I think they were conjoined at the chest, and one of the twins was heterosexual, and the other one was gay. So
That's a party.
who knows biology?
Wow.
I mean, it's
Well,
fascinating.
We have input from somebody who has a little bit or heard something. Now, what were you saying?
Hi. So,
Hey.
the wife, I guess the twin that got married, she ended up making a post where she answered a few questions that people had been asking about. And one of those things where she answered that when she climaxes, so does her twin. And so even if they do not have the same sexual organs, they do, like, they are one.
They share an orgasm.
They okay, so they share like nerves and things like that. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because like I said, not every conjoined twin case is the same. Which is why some are candidates for separation and some are not.
And others are not. And they had said there's an article that talks about that. It was like their parents had basically said, with the advice of doctors, like it was too
risky.
It was too risky for them to even try to separate the two of them. The doctors agreed, the parents agreed. They only had one doctor that said that they could try to probably do it, but when you got
one of the twins would probably have to be sacrificed.
Exactly. And they didn't want to do that. And actually, most of the doctors have stated that they probably would both die if you were to try to separate them. So, so anyway, one of the things that one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about that story is because now, and even though they're memes, wherever there's a lot of truth in comedy, right? So you got these different dudes. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go on from that, there is a post that is made by Brittany and Abby that says, because everyone is asking, we're just going to tell you. It says, yes, I have sex with my husband. Yes, I go down on him. Yes, my sister Brittany is there.
I was not asking these questions, honestly.
Okay.
I was. Go ahead.
I was not. Like these are not questions I had, but continue.
It says, yes, my sister Brittany is there. Yes, my sister and I orgasm as one. But when I sleep with my husband, she's usually reading a book or listening to true crime podcasts. So she just puts the pleasure out of her mind.
I mean, he's not doing a good job.
Well, yeah, because I mean, and that's what I've heard other grown conjoined twins say, is that while one of them is so occupied, the other one is doing something else. And they've become
how occupied you are. If you're sucking dick within 6 inches of me, I'm bothered.
Well, I'm just saying, they've become very adept at focusing on other things while their twin does what they have to do.
I need to highlight one of them.
But it's also evolutionary, right? Like you do what you have to do because this is learned. You know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah. Yeah. So I'm not
big
surprised.
Respect to the husband for not being the piece of shit I am, because Lord.
Correct.
All right, so like
And also, Magic, I am glad you recognize these things in yourself. So,
I have no qualms about being a deviant. It's the rest of you motherfuckers walking the earth trying to put forth an image nobody believes.
oh Lord have
okay.
mercy. Oh.
Are you okay over there?
I am just way too visual in the world. Like this whole story just fucks with me. Anyway,
Yeah,
um,
like I said, because of my obsession with medical oddities, this is not the first time I've heard these types of stories. So it probably doesn't hit me the same way it hits you because like I got over that in my teenage years.
no.
So
Don't
if
get
he's
me
hitting it
wrong.
from the back and her head is hitting the headboard or thrown into the pillow, the other sister's just listening to.
Chilling. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
True crime.
Anyway, I too am obsessed with a lot of medical things, including oddities. But and so it's not the first time, but it just
Fuck that.
his
God bless you,
commentary.
sis.
Listen, his commentary was just giggling, tickling the mess out of me because
Oh,
I've
well,
heard
yeah.
how other people be like, "Oh, well, I just separate myself." It's like in my mind, I'm like,
Come
"How
on.
good could you really be at that?" But okay, so let's move on.
Got noise canceling
Um,
headphones and
Well,
fucking
I
skeet
think it
remnants on your
becomes
cheek. Like,
no, I mean, I think it becomes like necessity. You know what I mean? Like if somebody is always in your space and you cannot remove them from your space ever in your life, I think you start to learn early on how to mentally and emotionally separate yourself. You know what I mean?
I
Like
get
you
it.
have
I
to.
do.
Yeah.
I get it.
So
that's what I
so
I
I
do with
get
the
it.
believe them
voices in
when
my head.
so I believe them when they say that. That
Um, so one of the things that has come out of this story is the number of memes. Um, not necessarily making fun of that situation per se, but
Mhm.
you have some people out here like dudes that are like, you gotta, it's a two-headed chick out here getting married, and the rest of you heifers can't get a ring, whatever. And
Oh,
then
here we
you
go.
Well,
got,
Father.
and
As
then
if that's everybody's goal.
well,
Dudes are weird.
and then
I'm
you
sure it
have,
ain't men doing that one.
and then you have the women who are making memes talking about updating their dating profiles, updating their dating profile pictures, and turning themselves into like a two-headed, like two-headed
The
person
hell?
through Photoshop. Like, if she get married, let me try something different.
I'd
Mm.
honestly, at this point, rather see that than the AI pictures with your face fixed up on somebody else's body. Stop that shit.
Yeah. That popular thing on Facebook right now is some BS. Um, and I did one that was like me with gray hair. And I was like, I just wanted to see what it would look like. And I was like, even though it turned out to be a nice picture, but it like probably took 20 to 30 pounds off of me. Like, so of course my face is like smaller, and it lightened my skin and did some other stuff. And I was like, that's not what I would look like with gray hair. So I didn't even bother to post it or entertain it. So anyway.
Not for nothing. I've been looking for a way to dye my hair white, but I haven't really
Don't be that
found
chick.
what to dye my hair white. Why not?
Yes.
Why not?
Every other woman on earth is trying to dye the grays out their hair, and people that don't have a multitude of them is trying to dye their hair gray. Why?
I don't want to dye my hair gray. I want to dye my hair white.
Same difference.
It's not the same difference.
You know what?
Well,
I hope it works for you.
as a person who is probably 50-50 with gray hair, one of the reasons why I dye my hair is because it's not coming in. It's evening out. It's starting to even out. But I had like gray patches that were just weird. My gray was
Yeah.
just coming in really weird. And it just well, there was just no way around trying to keep it that way and it to just not look odd. Like I'd have a patch in the back of my hair, I had a patch in the front, and then the rest of it was black. It just looked stupid. um
Yeah, I don't mind how my grays are coming in. The thing about my grays, though, is that I have wiry grays. You know what I mean? Like my gray is like wiry
well, most
silver.
gray is wiry.
Yeah, and I don't like that. But I mean, I just want my hair white. That's all. I'm
Most
just like that's what I want. But I would probably have to strip it to the point where it would be unmanageable if I were to turn it white. So
most people who have traditional African American hair, 4C, whatever you want to call it, like type hair, their gray comes in wiry. Uh it's not manageable. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not manageable, but it's harder to manage. It doesn't lay, curl, flat
it
out. It
doesn't.
doesn't do
Right.
any
It's
of
yeah. Yeah,
that the
it's very
traditional
wiry.
black
It doesn't
hair.
respond like the rest of my hair,
It
and
does
it's
not.
just annoying in general. But
And so that is one of the other reasons why I don't dye my hair. I do what is called a semi-permanent for my hair because that coating that the semi-permanent puts onto the gray shaft, once it attaches, it makes the hair a little more manageable and it behaves better. So that's a whole nother reason why I do
yeah,
that because the gray is just is it's unruly.
I feel like somebody should, and Magic, maybe you should work on this. I feel like somebody should invent a way. He's like, what the fuck? But yeah, somebody should invent a way to like mask dark hair to turn it lighter so that you don't have to strip it. You know what I mean?
What? What are
Uh,
you saying?
So that,
Coloring hair is some old shit.
yes, but in order to color dark hair, you can't like turn dark hair light. In any good way.
Um,
You have to bleach it, like you have to strip the color out of it, and it really like will damage your hair. So, I mean, and that's what I
Oh,
don't want to do. But yeah,
well, so
what?
do relaxers and all the rest of that shit. All
Well, I don't
relaxers,
relax my hair
permanent
anymore
color,
either. So, I
relaxers,
mean,
permanent color, all of that stuff
all these
damages
black
hair.
yeah,
ass women I see walking around with their hair dyed blonde.
And if
well,
they don't take care of it, that shit's gonna be on their pillow and on
right,
the ground.
That's why I dyed my hair
yeah,
back.
yeah, and yeah. In order for it to be blonde, and most of that you see the black women walking around with blonde hair
It's
is not their
wigs.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Ain't
not their
fooling
hair.
nobody, but still, I know a few that
But
dye their hair.
that's because in order to
Well, no, a
dye your
lot.
hair blonde, you have to strip the darkness out first.
You have to
Because
strip it. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you have to strip it to the point that it ends up behaving like gray hair does.
Right.
Um, yeah. So like if you don't have a serious uh moisture regimen going on for anybody who's had dark hair and dyes their hair blonde, you know, you have to have a serious conditioning moisture regimen going on to even keep that stuff on your hair. Now, it's a little bit different if you're one of those with a different texture of hair, because a lot of times people who have different textures, like when Asian women dye their hair blonde, it's not as hard to keep their hair on their head because their hair shaft is naturally more oily than us. So they get that natural moisture. But with us, when it happens with us, that's it. If you don't keep it done, it's going to end up on the pillow
Yeah.
or on the ground or in your hat or somewhere where you don't want it to be.
Well, I mean, the act of stripping color from your hair is going to, by definition, strip moisture out of your hair. Like it just is. But yeah. Anyway, I feel like we've gotten to a point in technology where they should find a way to do this without having to strip your hair. That's all. But
By the
anyway,
wig.
moving on.
Good luck with that.
And also, why would I invent anything like that? I promote self-esteem. I ain't gonna have black women out here appropriating white women culture.
White women don't have white hair.
We were talking blonde, but yeah, they do at an
well,
old age too.
I want it
but
white.
whatever. Good
I don't
luck
want it
with
blonde.
whatever
I
y'all
want it-
doing
I
with
want
your
it-
lives, people. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Self-esteem is
whatever.
free.
I would argue, I would almost argue that if you're a black woman, you have to have some modicum of self-esteem to be out here with blonde hair anyway. Like, because you are going to stand out.
And well, not just that, and that's a whole nother thing. Not just that. And I've said this before I was a hairdresser. I still stand on it, right? The majority of people black people who get their hair dyed blonde shouldn't.
Correct.
I'll say 85% of the people who get their hair dyed blonde and they think they look good with it, blonde is
there's a lot of
one
them where I'm like, like that ain't your color.
that is not your color. Now, some people look really, really, really good with it. But others, what they don't realize is that it ages them. And that's the thing. Most of the time when black folks get blonde hair, it ages them terribly.
It also depends on the type of blonde too, right? Because like I see
like
some
a dirty
black women,
blonde, no, because that's more yellow.
I see some black women with like that weird brassy blonde, and I'm like, why? like you're way too dark for that brassy blonde to be your color.
But then every now and then they'll come across some extra melanated person, and I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have thought that for you, but you wearing that. But it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, but it's generally not that brassy blonde either. It's usually more of a platinum blonde. You know what I mean? Like it's more not fighting it. Don't fight your undertone is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's where the problem comes in.
That's where the problem is. Don't fight your
undertones that most black people have. Yeah. All right. So on to our next and last subject. What say you when it comes to popular love songs with the worst lyrics?
I can think of one off the top of my head that's been in the news recently.
And what is that?
What Taylor Swift do now?
On Beyonce's album, she has covered Dolly Parton's Jolene.
Oh God, would people leave that song alone?
Please, to include you, Bouncy.
Well, first of all, and I'll say this, and the Hive may come for me. They may come for me. I heard a snippet of Beyonce's version of Jolene. She don't do it like Dolly. I'm sorry. Dolly's voice
do it like Dolly, but
Dolly's voice is iconic.
Yes.
And Beyonce is a great entertainer. She is not the singer that Dolly Parton is. Okay, let's just get that out of here.
I'm not going down that road.
Well, she's not.
But
it's just a fact.
She's
Dolly
different.
Parton.
I wouldn't say less talented.
I didn't say she was less talented.
Okay, I'm clearing it up.
I said she is a great entertainer. Dolly Parton is a better singer.
She's a better vocalist. Yes.
She's a better vocalist, correct. Like her voice.
Yeah.
But I mean, neither here nor there. The words to Jolene have always been disturbing to me. Like, even as a young girl, I'm like, what? You're begging this woman not to take your man?
Jolene. Yeah.
Right. Please don't take him just because you can. What? The fact that she can should be the problem.
Management would just say, all right, Beyonce is the last person that is going to do this. Because like that song has been done to death. I'm over it.
Well, I mean, I've never really entertained anybody's version other than Dolly's, to be honest, but even Dolly's version, like, I have to not really pay attention to the words in order to be entertained by it, because the words really irritate my soul. But go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
Go with
What
that
say
Every
you?
Step You Take song.
Which one?
Fucking stalker anthem.
Oh, the Sting.
Not sure who sings it. I just know the song.
Yeah, the Police, right? I'll
Every
be watching.
you take.
Yeah,
that one.
Yes. Okay, and let me just say this right now. I love me some Sting, and if he would like to stalk me, I'm here for it. But anybody else, you're correct. That song is problematic.
We really have to go down a rabbit hole of what the hell is wrong with people, but all right. A lot of Music Soul Child's catalog, I'm like, you realize dude is just saying he want to fuck you and leave you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That shit sound cool. Same with Piece of My Love by Guy.
Oh,
like,
Piece of My Love.
Like, you could be the side chick, but
yes, you can. Yeah, you can't have all of me because I'm not totally free.
You can have tonight.
Yeah,
maybe
that
tomorrow.
whole song problematic. You're correct.
Does I Get Around count as a love song?
Who?
Tupac.
No.
I Get Around? No.
Yeah.
Chicks was acting like it was. Red Light Special by TLC, nasty. Not that I do it, but I'm saying.
I don't know that that's problematic. I mean, it's nasty, but there's a song by
Creep.
Anita Baker, and I'm trying to think which one it is, because I remember growing up, I was like, I don't like those lyrics very much, but it's Anita Baker, so
stories, fairy tales, or You Belong to Me.
No, I don't think so.
That concept in itself.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, there are a lot of songs that are problematic.
I'll Put a Spell on You.
What is the name of that one song?
Oh my god!
Yeah, I Put a Spell on You.
Because you're mine.
because you're mine. Yeah, you're right.
One of the worst songs for me. One of the worst songs for me is My Fucking Funny Valentine. I remember being young.
Oh, where the lyrics call that person ugly? Like, you ugly, but I love you.
Your looks are laughable,
unphotographable. Yeah, you ugly as fuck. but I love you.
That's the alcohol talking. It happens,
right?
Is your figure less than Greek? Like, you got
less
a body
than Greek,
on you.
yeah, right. Right. I mean,
But you
the
ugly
whole
as hell.
song is dogging out somebody's looks, right? The whole song. You're right.
I was like, this is terrible.
but but I like the song. I really do.
It looks so raggedy.
Um, let me see. There's another song that I'm trying to think of that I've always thought the lyrics were a little problematic.
I ain't even gonna get into T-Pain's catalog.
Yeah, we wouldn't put that in a category of love songs either. Nothing.
Listen, I seen some hoes singing some raggedy stuff in the club.
Speaking of R. Kelly, you remind me of my Jeep. I want to ride it.
Fucking
Something like
well,
my sound.
first of all, half of R. Kelly's catalog, and no, I'm serious, and that's the problem with R. Kelly, where everybody's like, "Well, you have to separate the artist from the crime."
Artist,
and
I was
yes,
like, who does this work on? I could walk up on you in the club like, yo.
Right, I never liked. Yeah. Matter of fact, that's when I stopped listening to R. Kelly altogether. Was "You Remind Me of My Jeep"? Like I was like,
before that for me, fake ass Aaron Hall.
But yeah, that's why you can't separate R. Kelly from his crimes because because when you listen to his lyrics, it's so much about, I don't know, like you just can't with him. You can't with him. But
that damn popular Meatloaf song, that song that I Do Anything for Love, I hate that song.
I do, but I won't do that.
The lyrics are terrible. The lyrics are just terrible. They're stalkerish. Yeah. Terrible.
What's that song? She's just 15 years old. Leave her alone.
Leave that alone. Because that's the worst lyric in that song. And I love that
Terrible.
song. I hate.
But I used to love that song, right?
Me too. I take you up into the night. What's his name?
Yeah.
Benny Mardones or whatever the hell his name is.
Mardona. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, the lyrics in that song problematic.
Well, it's she's just 16 years old. That's the bad lyric in that song, and it's just like, right. I grew up loving that freaking song, and I think I've said this on this podcast before, but I remember working for this Mexican restaurant, and I'm definitely in my late 30s. I'm definitely, mid to late 30s. Well, yeah, maybe mid 30s. Anyway, I'm opening up the restaurant and we usually turn up the music or whatever for when we're opening up, and that damn song came on. I was like, oh man, because it starts out with the piano, and I was like, oh, that used to be one of my favorite songs. And I was like, turn that up. And because it was so loud, it forced me to pay attention to she's just 16 years old. I just sat there in the middle of the restaurant like,
yeah.
No!
It's illegal
but
in way more
other
states
than that,
than you
it's a
would
beautiful
think.
song.
It is. What'd you say, Magic?
So that's illegal in way more states than you would think.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
That song was, ooh. That just ruined it for me. I can't even think. That for My Funny Valentine was the top of my list. I remember, like I said,
Yeah, I've always thought My Funny Valentine was funny because it's basically you ugly,
but your body banging.
You're so ugly. I mean, and it's not just you're ugly and I love you. It's you're ugly. You're so ugly. I love you. And by the way, you are so ugly.
Hey, shout out to the Butterfaces. You are appreciated at 3:00 in the morning.
I guess.
Right. Yeah. But that song isn't even Butterface because they talk about the body too. Because your figure is less than Greek.
It's your sickness.
3:15, it happens.
Yeah. So
Your mom made me a little weak. I don't know about a love song, but one of the songs that Usher had,
Oh,
it's not
Usher got
really
a
a love
few.
song. He got a few that
yeah,
you make me want to leave the one I'm with, start a
delete.
new
Hey,
relationship with
we've
you.
all been there.
Yeah,
This is
right.
what I want
Yeah,
to do.
I don't find that problematic at all.
Think about
I
her.
find that in real life.
Yeah.
That I want a
Um,
bad girl joint. I'm like, we know your history, Usher. Settle down.
Baby bad girl. But see, yeah, those are I wouldn't consider them love songs.
Yeah.
That damn what was it? Britney Spears has a song called Sometimes. And it goes something like, sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared of you, but all I really want to do is hold you tight, treat you right, be with you day and night, baby. All I need is time. It's like if you want to run,
Sounds
hide, and
like
all
every
that
fucking
shit.
psycho broad on earth.
Well, there was a song, and I can't remember who it was by, and I think I've only heard it like maybe twice in my life because I don't think they play it anymore
Mm,
because it's so problematic. But it was by a
mm.
group of girls, and I want to say it was like in the 50s or 60s, and it was
Lord,
called. It was called something um, like he hits me,
what?
and it yeah, like he hits me, and it feels like a kiss or something like that. And I was
Wow.
like, what? But yeah, I mean, like, whole song about domestic violence, but it's all right.
Okay, so what it was called the Crystals. It was
Is
by
it
a
the
group
Chris?
called the Crystals, and it says he hit me, and it felt like a kiss. He hit
Yes.
me, but it didn't hurt me. He couldn't stand to hear me say that I've been with someone new. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, that's
Oh,
problematic.
Just
exactly. Yeah,
basically
and I
says you
only
hit
heard
like a
that
bitch.
song. Yeah, I've only heard that song like maybe twice in my life because, I think it was problematic even, you know, in the
In the
in the
era
80s when
where
I was of age.
Ralph Cramden
So,
was going pow to the moon to his wife.
right.
Yeah, well, actually, this song was released in 1962. Jeez.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
So
I
it
knew
said,
it's
so it said the name of the song is "He Hit Me and It Felt Like a Kiss." Is a song
yeah.
written by Jerry Goffin and Carole King for the girl group called the Crystals under the guidance of Phil Spector in 1962. Goffin and
Mhm.
King wrote the song after discovering that their babysitter and singer, Little Eva Void, Little Eva Boyd was being regularly beaten by her boyfriend. When they
Mhm.
inquired why she tolerated such treatment, Eva replied with all sincerity that her boyfriend's actions were motivated by his love for her. And that's what
Yeah.
made Phil Spector. Yeah.
Yeah, that song highly problematic. Highly problematic.
I gotta go listen to that song now. I don't
Yeah,
think I've ever heard
I
that.
think the first time I heard it, I was a well, barely like a teenager, like maybe 13, 14. And I was like, what the hell? And then I think I heard it again in my 20s, but those were like the two times I had ever heard that song. I haven't heard it since because I think most people would consider it problematic.
How is this not in a Quentin Tarantino movie?
Well, it did hit some movie. It was in the final scene of Frank some movie I've never heard of called Litham or Lilum.
No,
Mm-hmm.
that's not where I heard it.
And in a classic musical called Carousel. Um,
Oh, that might be where I heard it the first time. Was in that. That might have been where I heard it. Where I heard it.
yep. It said it received some airplay, but after widespread protest of the song, with many concluding that the song was an endorsement of spousal abuse. Soon the
And
song
that's
was
what it
only
sounded like.
played,
Yeah.
yep, on the
Yeah,
rare video.
it sounded like we're giving excuses
Mhm.
to dudes that are going to, beat their wives. Like, yeah, well, he
Dear
only
every
does it
woman that has ever broken my heart, I don't want to hear shit else about how I'm not passionate enough.
Mm,
I know when to cut
But
it
what's
off.
crazy is people have covered this song over the years. The Motels, Courtney Love's band Hole, Black Eyed Susan, somebody named the Grizzly Bears, somebody named Ruby and the Rednecks,
I would expect that from
mm.
Courtney Love.
I would
and
expect it from Ruby and the Rednecks.
Nicole
I don't even know who that is, but
Gallagher,
it sounds like they would do some shit like that.
Exactly. That was
Kramer
exactly
in
my
the Brill
thinking.
Building. I don't know who that is, and Veronica Swift. So a
Yeah.
lot of people have tried to cover this song over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, Beyonce.
Right. Right. Why you
Leave
begging
Jolene
Jolene
alone.
not to take your
Right.
man?
That would be terrible for Beyonce to come out with. Talk about
Oh
a
well,
career killer.
you know how people are. If she were to record that song, the high would go straight for Jay-Z's jugular.
Jay-Z.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
because
She
you
gonna be
can't
singing
just
about him.
yeah, exactly. You can't just sing a song these days. It has to be about something.
Yeah.
The fans are going to
Although,
assume that it's about something that happened to you or about
although,
somebody.
although, I will say this. I don't follow that. I don't follow that frame, especially nowadays. I think that was more true with a lot of the older singers and older groups that they put
Correct.
more personal stuff in their, in their music.
Right.
But I will say this: that damn "Don't Hurt Yourself" by Beyonce and Jack White. I refuse. I refuse to believe that wasn't about Beyonce's situation with Jay-Z. I just, yeah.
Yeah, I
Her
never
her
really
whole everything.
heard
Her
it.
whole she not that great an actor. Her whole everything, including the tone and how she sings that song and the way that she is in that video, says that that is personal on some level.
Well, listen, the fact that she was co-author on that lends probably some credence to that, right? But,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying that artists these days don't write about their personal lives. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is that every song somebody sings is
Oh
not
no.
about their personal life, which a
No.
lot of people assume that if an artist is singing that song, then it's about their personal life.
Their
That
personal
artist
life.
may not have even written that song, right?
Exactly. They're just
So
singing it.
they're
Confessions.
Somebody
just
wrote it
singing
for
it.
them.
But people are going to make it about their life,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the way the internet works, I guess.
It
Yeah.
was before that. Confessions
Yeah,
didn't
you're
have
right.
nothing to do with Usher and Chili. When Jodeci
Right,
was singing
exactly.
Forever My Lady, it wasn't about none of their girlfriends.
Definitely not. And definitely not. But yeah, speaking of domestic violence,
When Justin did Cry Me a River, he ain't write that.
No.
yeah,
I'm sure he felt it when he was singing it, but he didn't write it.
maybe, yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of problematic love songs, but
We
so
covered a few good ones.
yeah. Magic, you got a gem for us?
Nah, not really. Don't drink and drive.
That's a good one. Like it's late.
Right.
Come on, babe. Subscribe or
Okay.
like or something. Bye.
Well, I'm trying to check real quick. Oh, okay. So Iowa beat UConn by 2. I don't know how UConn lost that lead because they were winning at halftime when I was watching it. But anyway, so it's going to be a rematch between South Carolina, Don Staley's South Carolina team,
Big dog.
and Caitlin Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes are going to meet this time for the championship. When last year, I think they met in the Final Four, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're going to meet in the championship game. So it should be a good one. Should be a good one.
Gamecocks.
Yeah. Yeah, go Cops. Gamecocks. Anyway.
Good night, good people.
All right, I'm going to walk the dog. I mean, he's still on my nerves, but he needs to go out, so.
Don't say I thought you walked him already.
No, I took him out, but we didn't take a walk. So I'm about to take him for his nightly walk so that he can turn down for the night.
Turn down for what?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, people.
Good night.